Greetings. I'm responding to a comment that I've seen. I think it's a few weeks old. I looked through some of the comments today. I still think I have to look a little bit more to try and read them all and everything. So I caught up a little bit on that today, and had some that were held for review that I um, let through and liked or whatever. If I, I appreciate the I guess, what do you want to call them, negative comments too. It's just that there's certain things that, as far as truth and teaching, that I believe that um, I don't see it changing, but I always do ask that if something is wrong, that I see it eventually if I don't see it. But there are some things that I'm pretty confident on that, that's what I see, and this is it. This is the teaching, or this is the spiritual understanding of something, and I see it, and I just know it's true, for me. But what I had to do more recently, um, and it still hasn't been perfect, is sort of just fade away from YouTube. Not to like ignore comments and stuff. I want to read them, or maybe reply a short message or whatever. Um, Not 100% like that, but just overall other places, other things, and if I do, maybe just leave it real short, because overall, um, it's been negative with like the YouTube platform and like all things, all topics. This is an overall review of YouTube comments, which people make comments. And that's why I did, like, every now and then I'll probably look through my comments and just delete whatever I don't like, my own comments. And not too long ago, I hid the channel, which deletes all your comments permanently. So I could start over, because there was a lot of comments over a period of time, that I made or responded to. So, um, because I think some of them were no good, my own comments. So I started over, and I think I'll have to just check it more often, just scroll through and see what I said. But overall, uh, I saw something going on, and it was the same thing, and it wasn't doing anything good for me. So it was just negativity, like it was affecting me negatively, So, like, if you have an opinion or you see something about whatever and you make a comment on a somewhat popular YouTube video, it could be like about Corona or whatever, it doesn't matter, any topic. The chances that you won't get a negative, hateful comment back is almost zero. And when you do, it tries to get you to do the same thing back. And when you do that, now you're committing, murder, and that's going to affect you, like it or not. For people that don't believe in a creator and everything, well, there's not much I have to say to them. That's fine. You don't believe? Okay, fine. You don't think doing evil affects people negatively? Okay, that's fine. Whatever. Um, or whatever. If they do, it's strange why they would. It should be pretty open. Like, if there's no creator, it shouldn't be rewarded for doing good. It shouldn't be rewarded for doing evil. It shouldn't be punished for doing good or evil. It should just be, you know, completely meaningless and random, but that's not what I've experienced. So there was a question that says, where do you go if Christianity isn't like, because people, I think, picture Christianity, right, as a whole religion and people. This is what I don't like about seeing what I see, is because usually no matter what you say, it's going to be negative towards them, like they'll take it as negative, or they're not going to like it, or I don't even enjoy saying that Christianity is false, because it might bring people down or something. But I don't know of anybody that wasn't dragged down into the mud before they started seeing things or coming to life or seeing our Creator. It's like it's not a optional that he's going to drag your face in the mud, like, or drag your feet and just connect it to like a Jeep and just drag you in the mud, and finally you go, please, okay, I'm muddy, I admit it, I admit I'm muddy. you know um every single case, I believe, has to go through that. And it's not just like once, it's like a continued thing where maybe, you know, you got some kind of special judgment or something, and then you have to figure out what on earth it is you're doing, and repent, and then you keep going. And there's like a verse that says, concerning his people, not atheists, I'm not saying it's not true for atheists, I'm just saying this is specifically concerning of his people that claim to believe. They say, oh, how I wish it were night during the day, and then during the night, how I wish it were day, right? Because they're not doing so good. This is what happens when you when his people, have that special judgment come on them, that because there's consequences for everything. They wish it was night because the day is horrible, and they wish it was day because they can't sleep and their night is horrible, or something like this, or whatever is going on. So it's harder and harder to even comment at all when I consider all of this now more carefully. It's harder to even make a comment because it's almost certain to get blasted, or just negativity will be dragged with it and connected to it somehow. um I don't know how else to say it. Like, there's teaching, and then there's living it. And I think the thing that everyone has to realize is that there's teaching, that's one thing, and even if it's a true teaching, it doesn't mean the person's living it. um so these negative things separate you from living whatever you're teaching. And so I feel like it's not even I don't know, it's an enigma a little bit. I think whatever's here is here, and it's been done, whatever it is, and it might not be perfect. These videos in the past or whatever, every single video I've allowed on here, but it's there, it's teaching. But now whether someone's living whatever they're saying is a whole nother thing. And it seems like to live it, you almost have to stop, I don't know, teaching, stop saying things, stop commenting, stop doing everything. Sure seems like that. Maybe not like 100%, but you know what maybe you could see what I mean. I don't know. I see it, whatever I'm trying to say. You have to like back off from being connected with a negative world, comments, social media, which I don't have, and I don't care if someone has it. As far as, well, I guess YouTube is, I don't know if it's accurate to say I don't have social media, but still have YouTube. But I don't have like Facebook and other stuff. And maybe I could, but like even a few years back, I didn't. I came to the same conclusion I'm coming with the comments now, which is weird because you could say certain things, but then to actually understand them is to do certain things. So someone could talk all day long, but if they don't do it, they don't understand it. Now, that person would likely, like an angry little child or kid speaking against the parents, yes, I understand, I get it. But the reason why they're telling you you don't get a certain thing is because you're not ever doing it. And then there comes a time when you finally see whatever these words are that anybody could easily say, but you finally see them and you start doing them, which is to stop making comments so much, keep it to a minimum. Do something else besides try to change people's minds that already are in deception or whatever, other religions, Christianity, because all I've gotten was mostly negativity from it. So that can't be a good thing. Must be doing something wrong to some degree. Maybe here and there a comment is like appropriate or something or saying, but like to try to do this all the time and think you're going to do so much good and convince people, I don't think that's happening. If it does happen, it's minimal, and it's whatever the creator wants to do, he'll do. It's not because if you're special, whatever you're saying, your words, your special skills, whatever that you think you have. Through it, maybe, through some of that, he'll help people through that. But like, I think people think they're doing a lot when they're not doing very much, or they're just doing negative all the time. And they think they're being positive. I don't know, something like that it's just disgusting overall, YouTube. Everywhere I go, everything I see, it's just, I'm seeing the same thing. And it's like somebody in this world, like, you know, like, what are you talking about? They thought this was funny or this or that. And I'm like looking through the comments and I'm seeing the same filth over and over again. So it just makes all of it just not very impressive, even if it's like a innocent video or whatever. Being dragged in the mud with the world and their comments and all this stuff going on YouTube and everything is going to separate you from your creator. So the question was, where do you go? Well, I guess that's for everyone to find out, isn't it? There's nowhere I can point to and say, go here. Look, there's a mountain, there's a city. That's where you go. Isn't that exactly what the Messiah taught? I hear you worship on this mountain or over here in the city called Jerusalem. And he taught her the exact opposite. Oh, that's not the important thing. That's not what it's about. Those who worship him must worship in spirit and truth. Oh, that's the last thing mankind wants, because he's very carnal and fleshly and wants physical things everywhere and all the time. So it's not that the question is rotten or that it had foul intentions. I'm just saying I think there's a little bit of fault with the question when someone asks, where do I go? But I wouldn't want to stop and just say, oh, that's all, your question is faulty, and then run. But I think I will say the question is a little bit faulty. It's not somewhere you can go. There's no place for you to lay your head. There's nowhere to go. If Messiah didn't have anywhere to lay his head or go, then how on earth what are you better than him? Isn't that what it says? What are you better than him? Or am I better than him or greater than him, stronger than him, more powerful, we got more of the spirit in us than Messiah had, I'm pretty sure he's the one that has had the most, filled with the Father Spirit, the most out of anyone, because that's what was given him. Now, if somebody were, no, that's what I believe is truth, the most. So then for us that don't have as much of the Spirit in us as Messiah did, You know what I'm saying? That's why it says, what do you are? If you, that's why it says you think you're greater than him or better than him or more this, more that, more spiritual. Where did Messiah go? Where did he have to go? Some crowd, some religion. They all hated him. Doesn't matter where he went, they tried to kill him. There is nowhere for you to go. That's the sort of sad but true answer. From a worldly perspective, it's a little sad. There's no place where you're going to go. They're going to end up hating you, if not the first week, then maybe next month. If not, then in 2 months. Eventually, they're going to see who you are and they're not going to like it because they're going to see that you see through people and that you see what they are, which is a beast. And nobody wants to be spotted. So they either have to hide or kick you out, one of the two. It's not to say that there's no single group of small people in the whole entire world, but I can't point to you where they are. It doesn't come with a denomination or a name. Here's the name for all the United States and all the world. This is the denomination. This one is the true one. I can't do that. Or, this is the one right here. This is where you go. Here's where you go. No, you just got to go to the Father. That's all. The most least comfortable thing is what you have to do. You have to figure out truth for yourself, be taught by the Father, yourself. Because that's how Messiah received truth. He was taught in his own time in the secret place. He's not a hypocrite, right? Then he say, go to the secret place in the dark, in the closet. That's where the Father is. He's not like out in the open all over in the world, right? Maybe that's what that means. He's not everywhere, in the sense, this has to be understood in the context of this truth. It's not that he's not everywhere or he's like weak or something, but concerning his way, who and what Father is, he's not like, here it is right here. Oh, here's a great example. Here's this business that's full of truth and has the spirit of the Father in them. This is where you could go. No, he's in the secret place, in a dark closet. Get the picture? Hopefully you see the spiritual thing of that physical closet. So that's why the question's faulty. There is nowhere to go. There's nowhere I could point and say, you just have to find truth and find him yourself. And if that's his will, then you will. You could ask that that's his will. You can always ask. Don't forget. It does say ask. And you'll receive. You do have to ask, So there's no place that I know of. Because as soon as it becomes a system, like a religion, it's just all the way corrupt. It's just corrupt. That's what the whole world does. They get together in like rock concert kind of ways, and there it is. There's where they are. Here's where his people are. Here's where the Father is. Here's where this religion is. I don't know what that has to do with worshiping in spirit and truth. Sounds like nothing to me. Now, it doesn't automatically mean that every single physical action they do is wrong. I'm not saying smiling is wrong or, throwing your hands up or something, but I'm just saying that if they're doing all this in vain, then it's pretty vain, everything they do. Jumping up and down with foul intentions, not because they actually want truth or to live the truth for themselves, You think people are jumping up and down that much for the who and what they are to die, which is exactly what he teaches? You think there's billions of people jumping up and down? They're so excited to kill who and what they are, destroy your soul. Think about that for a second. The last thing in the whole entire world, the last thing that a wild lion wants to do is be caught, exposed, and then killed and destroyed. And you're telling me billions of people in this carnal world that's called the God of this world, Satan's world, are jumping up and down in joy because their souls have been destroyed? They see who and what they are, right? They've been spotted and they accept it and say, yes, this is what I am. I'm a prideful, self-righteous beast and it needs to die. That's how many people have been destroyed? I don't think so. If that's what you think, man, I mean, you're blind. But hey, if I made a comment like that on YouTube, I would get a bunch of negative, threatening, personal attacks for just speaking what I believe is truth. It has nothing to do with personal attacks, you know. But are they going to believe you? No. Messiah must have been personally attacking, right? With foul intentions, calling the Pharisees liars, hypocrites. Now, naturally, the people would say, no, you can't do that. Look what he's doing. Oh, yeah, this guy's evil. He's calling us devils and hypocrites. Of course, they're going to believe he's the one with the problems and the personal attacks and the heart issue. Of course, they're going to believe he's the one when it's them that pretend to be good, but that's who and what they are, what they accuse you. So anytime you're accusing someone in your own mind, and what I mean by that, like making a judgment, oh, this person, it's very extremely likely that that's exactly what you are and you need to repent from that. Or that's exactly what I am and I need to repent from that. The odds of that being true is pretty much 100%, you know, in the beginning, at least it's 100%. That's what hypocrisy is, pointing the finger, drooling, can't wait to expose someone for this little splinter. And that's what they are. They're a beam. They are a beam of what they're saying someone has a splinter for. That's true over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. But people read that, oh, splinter, beams, nice, cute. They don't ever see this or meditate on it or see that that's what they're doing every single day of their life. They're living those words. Those are living words. Oh, splinter in the eye beam. Huh? Now let me go preach lies and, you know, drool for money and control and power every day. These leaders of these religions. You think they're meditating on that truth every day? Making sure that that's being cleansed, that that's not what they are every day. So when YouTube sucks you in with a bunch of comments, I'm telling you, you can't become what the creator needs you to become. It's going to be a trap and you're going to have to figure out that it's a trap and then come out of it. Or at least that's been my experience. You're going to go downhill spiritually if you let a bunch of social platforms with people behind it. Don't forget, it's always the heart behind all these keyboard warriors. You're going to become a keyboard warrior. They're going to drag you in and you'll become and you'll break all these things that you're not supposed to be. And then you're going to go and spiraling into some kind of judgment until you come out of it, you know? So there's nowhere to go. There's no physical place to go. Kingdom's not coming. Where is it? You know, it's exactly what he said, exactly what people want to see. That's not what's happening. Now that's the theme of truth in the scripture from Genesis to Revelation. What people want, oh, it's not like that. What people say it's not, oh, it is like that. 180. You know, kingdom's not coming with signs and all this stuff, you know, with observation. Kingdom's within you. I don't know of any teaching that says the opposite now. Where's the opposite teaching of that? Is that truth for all time? I guess so. Now it makes me wonder how long this has to go on, you know? Because, you know, I believe what the scriptures teach, you know, death itself will be destroyed eventually. And if this is the definition of death destroyed, like some people teach, then this is utter, I don't know, failure, sadness. If this is the definition of death being destroyed, you know, many called, few chosen, that only very few, and then the rest of the world hates our creator and hates the people that are of the creator. or that truly believe in him. If that's what it's going to be like forever, then that doesn't sound like victory to me. So this teaching of the kingdom being within and not coming with observation is true for every person in every generation, right? Until the end. It must be true until the end, because I don't see a teaching that teaches the opposite of, hey, the kingdom's coming with observation tomorrow. So that's like to be carnally focused. So the question was, where do I go? And I think the answer is there's no physical answer to that to solve your spiritual problems. I don't know of a place where you can point to and say, this is it. This is the truth, the thing. This is where you go every day or every week or whatever. Like I said, it's not to say that there's not a few small groups that exist of believers here and there, but they're not going to make a name for themselves. If that's what they're doing, then I don't know who they are. They're not going to create a system. They're just going to worship in spirit and truth, like the disciples did. They were there were many in the beginning, like I would say many compared to what it would be shortly after that, of gatherings, believers, and they most of them all fell away. All the churches, the gatherings of Asia fell away from Paul. That's what Paul was saying. That's the history. So then, what's it been like ever since then? I'd say it's been the same, pretty much, with just a few believers, and then religion having its way. The Roman Catholic Church, harlot system, powerful, popular, known in the world, and all this thing, has a name, has a building, has something to protect, something to look at, like, here it is, this is who and what this is. It's can true believers do that, create a system like this that's so popular and known and powerful and in this world, of which this same Paul says the God of this world is clearly, the spiritual teaching on that is it's the devil. It's the devil's world spiritually, to be in it but not of it. So these religions are in and of the world, that's all. So there's nowhere to go physically, besides whatever the Father gives you. Maybe a couple of like-minded people, and that's it. Maybe more than that, or maybe less. But as far as like a name, a title, a building, a system with some fame that's known in this world, I don't think I can give an answer and say, there it is. This is if Christianity isn't true, where do I go? But that's sort of looking for the answer. It's the same problem over and over again. If Christianity isn't the truth because of what I'm saying, what it is, and now the question is, well, what do I find something else besides that that's like that, but it's not that exactly? Well, then that's just like another religion. I don't, I don't understand it as religion, like the world's religions. Like worshiping in spirit and truth is not creating a name and a religion and all this for yourself. It's something different than that, because these places, as I've found, don't really care about truth. That's not their intention. It's more just like a Facebook social gathering, part-time hobby-like religion, and interest. That's all. Now, if somebody wants to go and join these groups, go for it. Go for it. I can't do that, so I'm not going to stop anyone. And I'm making less and less comments, on the social platforms, which is YouTube is all that I have left. So that's where you go. You just ask the Father in spirit and truth for truth and for all things, for everything. He's the giver of anything that's good. So that's where you go. See? If it's the devil's world here, then there's nowhere to go. Maybe you could picture that. This is the devil's world. All the people are of the world and in the world, and they're of the devil, the lying one, the evil one. And they are that naturally from birth, It's nobody's ultimate fault, as in you could truly blame someone. This is who and what everyone is. And it's the people that are like this, that do things, create things, say things, live certain ways that make up this world, the God of this world. So then to say go over here is to say go in some devil's box. There it is. There's the devil's religion, one out of 40,000 denominations or divisions. It's all going to cause division. Now, something that a believer has to accept is that there's very few that are like-minded in spirit and truth concerning actual truth. There's all kinds of groups that are like-minded in their delusion. And then there's this group, and there's many here and many there and many here. His people, they're not divided. They're not divided in Messiah or whatever. Paul was saying, is Messiah divided? No, he's not divided. So there's a few people that are worshiping in spirit and in truth, and they're not divided because they do this. That's all. They're not divided because they do this. And some are given more things here, or some are given more things there for understanding or whatever, but they're not divided like the world's religions are divided. So that's all for this one, and I'm still, looks like I have another week that I can do this driving job, because I guess the guy didn't get an answer from a certain group of people that they have to go through. Because I was told September, this coming September, 2021 is when I would be able to do what I'm doing right now. But then now there's a little bit of back and forth going, trying to keep me from waiting 9 months or having to find something else in the next 9 months. So it looks like I have one more week. I wouldn't say guaranteed, but something like that. Well, I could do one more week for sure, and then I still don't know. They're going to just allow me to keep going, which is what I would like, to just keep going for a little while until whatever, instead of like doing this for a little while and then figuring out something else and doing that, and constantly in that pattern. So I'll probably get an answer somewhat soon as far as that goes, as far as trying to go around the issue of my driving record from 3 years back and beyond. But it sounds like no matter what, I could do what I'm doing now in 9 months, but I'm hoping I don't have to. I'm forced not to do it for 9 months before I can. So yeah, I got another week that it looks like I'll be able to do for sure. And then hopefully just keep going for a little while at least. But yeah, I think that's what that means, the Messiah doesn't have a place to lay his head. Now, if we took that as like the most literal, obviously he slept and got some kind of sleep. Like I don't think he had a literal rock for a pillow like his whole entire time. Maybe though, I don't know. But the spiritual thing of that, the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head. Are you sure you want to follow? If I don't have anywhere, are you sure you want to drink this cup? Don't I read that? Something like that. I want to sit on your left hand. I want to sit on your right hand. Oh, you have to drink this cup. Can you drink this cup? Oh yeah, no problem. Okay, you will drink this cup. You'll see later what that means. You think it's easy and simple now, you'll see later what this means. I think that's all for this one. So there's no like physical place to go. I mean, there could be a physical place with true believers wherever they go, but in general, there's not like a worldly religion to go to, because you're just going to become whatever spiritual condition this group or this group is in. You'll you'll become that, over time for sure. And it's not even your will. I don't believe it's a believer's will to like not to come out of there, come out of her. They don't want to like go away from that, like for the sake of ditching people. That's not why they do anything. It's because they can't be there. That's why, not because they don't. Um, the Messiah didn't want to die and be tortured, but he had to, because that was the Father's will to the plan and purpose. But he wasn't overjoyed about it and wanting to do all these, all these things. It's not to try to put him down. I'm just trying to explain the humanity that everyone denies that he was and is. One of the most important teachings is that a man did this and that the Father did this through a man, as hard as it is to believe, or impossible to believe for most people. Because when it comes down to it, they don't really believe he was an actual man. Like he could be sitting next to me right now and I might be better looking. You wouldn't know it's him, because the scriptures say that he wasn't very good looking in Isaiah, that people wouldn't look twice at him. So this was his, and he was sickly and diseased, as prophecies clearly say he would be. Like he literally took that on, but that spiritually means something too. He took our infirmities, diseases. So yes, I believe he actually was sickly and diseased, like scriptures say, but this also means something spiritual, just like healing someone's blindness. He did that, but it means something spiritual. That's the more important thing. Uh, so the carnal thing has no benefit unless you're seeing and doing the spiritual thing. If you're doing that, then it does have a benefit. If you're not, then the carnal thing becomes puke, because then it's just a fakery. It's a fraud. It's only on the outside and physical and just for looks and show and all this. And then on the inside, it's corrupt. So it's no good then. But if it's not corrupt inside, then whatever it's doing has benefit too. So he did these things like as a picture, and obviously all the people weren't understanding the spiritual higher things that our Creator cares about and that the Messiah understood and cared about. He knew that people wanted to get healed because they just wanted to get healed and have some kind of benefit like this, and or sort of like selfish, or just and then run and gun and go away. He knew all those things, but he still did it. I think most of them didn't appreciate it. Like more the example where he heals a few people and only one of them come back to like say thanks or something like this, oversimplifying it. And the rest of them, where are they? He says, where are they? Oh yeah, they don't care. That's their true heart's intentions. They don't care. They got some benefit out of you, and then they spit in your face and then they run. That's all. So this is teaching something a lot deeper than just physical healing. This applies to any example in life where someone gets something out of you and their intention was never to help you or do anything except get something from you, and then they run. That's how I see that example there. That's what people are, that they need to not become that anymore, die to that, change. That's the human nature. It's like a beast. It's the teaching all along. So without trying to make this too long, trying to give reasons why you can't just say like, here it is, here's the religion, here's where you go, here's a group, here's a name, here's the fame. Because all I've ever seen is just corrupt intentions out of that, not people who actually care about truth, that are spiritual. Because if you put two people next to each other and you just do a quick glance, you're not going to see who has the Father in them from just, look, here's a picture of two people. Which one has the Holy Spirit in them? It's not how it works. So it's very deceiving because people can pretend or act, and they're not even, a lot of times they don't know what they're doing. So don't think like too evil of them, or don't think evil of them at all. I'm just saying, don't blame them, because Messiah said they know not what they do. So they don't think about these things daily and go, oh yeah, I'm doing this because of this, because of this, because of this. And now I'm going to carry out this plan. They just do whatever they are. That's all, from the heart. The natural thing, the first reaction they do, that they do divisive, crafty, snakish things naturally without even having, they're just good at it naturally. And this would be true for everyone, but I'm speaking from the perspective of, believing that there are a few believers that know this, and then the rest that just never come to the knowledge of truth, which is, they need to stop looking for, they just need to admit that they're a beast. That's all. But that's easier said than done. Ecclesiastes 3:18, it says the Father would like to show everyone that they are beasts. It's pretty much saying it. Simple reflection says, yep. And I think I'm going to end there. So that's all I got. Let's see, what else could I say about where to go? So the parable of the guy eating pig food, he went away from the Father, and when he's away from the Father, he's not doing so good. Physical picture, spiritual truth. The further he went away, the more pig food he ate. Just disgusting. Bad shape. Like the outside would have been bad shape to show what's going on inside. Poor, broken down spiritually, beaten, tired, whatever. Just doing bad, real bad. Eating rotten food, right? Not eating the Father's food and that lamb or that whatever, that calf that he's prepared, some like rich meal that's going to get you stuffed and filled. He's scrambling for horrible pig food and stuff and still hungry. And then he snapped out of it one day and he ran back and says, I have this over here all along. I'm going to go back. And then he's going to say, man, I'm not worthy to go back. No, not after what I've done. I'm way too big of a sinner. And then the Father is shown to be exactly the opposite of what mankind says he is. So in that parable, the man says, no way, I'm too big of a sinner. I can't come back to the Father after going away and getting sick and not doing so good. Then he came back and now he had real food and now he's doing good. But he thought, no, I can't come back from this. He's not going to accept me. And then the opposite is taught. So that negativity of the Father not even forgiving you or accepting you, let me be the lowest of the lows if you even take me back. And then he says, no, you'll be up here, I'll gladly take you back. Did you learn your lesson? So there's the parable of somebody walking away and coming back. But this is, if I walk to Walmart right now or something, which would be a far walk for me, then what's that? That's not going to benefit. You have to see this spiritually. So you have to come back to the Father, and then then you'll be fed, blessed. So there's no like physical place. It's not about that. And I try to say that without totally trashing. Um, it's not like every little thing that other religions do is all wrong in and of itself. Like it's not wrong to just have a group of people together. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying it's not about some physical location. That's all. Um, so if there's believers that understand and know this, then they would probably benefit greatly from even just 2 or 3 people. But if you're, what does the proverb say? Like, you can have a bunch of fools do such and such, and it's basically no benefit. There's too many verses on something like that. I just can't remember them right now. And there's also, what the wise man that's truly wise, not like worldly wisdom, but scriptures consider wise, and Proverbs is parable, and it gives a parable of a wise king that did certain things and it was good, and then it says he wasn't remembered. Nobody knew or cared about him, and he did wise things. But the fools everyone remembers for some reason. But someone that's actually wise is just forgotten, and that's it. They're just nobodies because they're not of this world. That's why it's always taught that they're in it, but they're not loved by the world because they're not spiritually of it. So to expect to be loved by all the many in this world while you're a true believer, it would be false. It's not happening. And that's all I got for this one. I'm going to end it here. And peace, take care, and seek truth. And that's all. Because if you don't ask, then you won't receive.